Oh man,
Hi.
let me turn some lights on in here. Sorry, I thought I had it.
Oh my gosh, I love your background. It's so clean. I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah, this is my
clean
this is my little
monitors.
corner, my little corner of the apartment for sure.
Oh, is that where you do your wonderful videos?
Hi, Champagne.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
It is nice to meet you, Nick. Nicholas Nick. You said I could call you Nick, right?
Yeah, yeah. Nicholas on paper because it's more syllables and it looks fancy, but Nick in real life.
Nick, where are you from?
So I am from Akron, Ohio, and then Hudson, Ohio. I think I just saw some of my oldest friends pop on, so shout out to Hudson, Ohio,
Ah, that's so cool.
and then a little short tenure at Kent until they kicked me out, and then I lived in Lakewood for a little bit, and then moved to Athens and fell in love and lived there for like 10 years,
Aw.
and now I'm in Vermont, of all places. So
There's so. Let me get mine. So I don't know if you had a chance to look at any of these videos, but as you talk, I like to take notes
oh
because
man,
I like to go back.
professional. I did see that, by the way.
I like to go back and ask questions because I'm older, so I can't remember things. So the first thing that jumped at me was Kent State. Why'd you get kicked out of Kent State?
Mostly like basically like I dropped out, but I didn't tell anybody. Cause when you're 18 and you never really had to try hard in your life, like you don't think about shit like that. I paid for it for like 7 years afterwards, but yeah, I just I shouldn't have been in college at that point in my life.
I would agree with you. I too went to Kent State, and I lasted a year myself.
Yeah.
And I was in love. I just thought I was gonna run off into the sunset with this guy. And he had a
Yeah.
whole entire girlfriend the whole time. I just felt really I
That's
felt
part of
really
being young, right?
I guess so. That's cool. So, you know about the black squirrels too. They make them
Oh
stay
yeah.
on.
Oh yeah. I see that. I can spot that bumper sticker from a mile away. I see that black squirrel bumper sticker when I'm outside of Ohio, and I'm like, "Who's that? I bet I know that person."
They're Kid Reed, Kid Wright, Kid State.
Absolutely.
So now you're in Vermont. What brings you to Vermont?
So my wife actually, she works for the Forest Service, which and I just like to bartend and work in restaurants and stuff. So I always told her wherever you find work, wherever you want to go, I'll find work where that's at. So that's where we are now. Yeah, we're in like central Vermont, a town called Rutland. So
Is that the town where like everybody knows each other and like someone died and then you have to solve the mystery?
it kind of seems like everybody knows each other except for us. Like moving to a small town in the middle of a pandemic is a strange experience. Like we've been here for 2 years and we made some really good friends, and but like yeah, there's still times where I'm like this. It takes a long time to feel like a part of a small town, I guess.
That kind of feel like an outsider for a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody questions like, yes, he stabs bodies and hides them in the basement. So,
Yeah, they're like, who's this shady cat? I always go on jogs, and I don't really look like a runner, so I always feel like people are like, who's this guy? Like, what's he running from? Who's this guy running through my neighborhood?
he's running from his past. His past, you guys. So bartending, restaurant. How did you get into bartending?
Oh man, so I worked in restaurants my whole life. I started washing dishes when I was 14, and it's been a full-time part of my life ever since. And I was a cook for a long time. I moved to the front of the house for monetary reasons, like a
Yeah,
lot of us do.
yeah.
and serving was good to me, but I missed, I wanted to do it all. I wanted to cook, and then I wanted to bring the food to the customers and ask them how they liked it, and can I make it different for you and all that. And when you bartend, you get to do all of that. It's the best of both worlds. So it was a natural culmination, I think, of my restaurant career, and then I was just fortunate. In Athens, Ohio, there was a cidery opening up. Then they wanted to have like a tap house and a cocktail bar, kind of all in one. And it's a beautiful spot. Shout out to West End Cider House. I learned everything I know there. Like I knew a little bit about wine when I started there, and that was about it. But they took me in and let me learn and experiment. I think I was there for 7 years when the pandemic hit, and then
You got one place for 7 years?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I'm loyal. I am nothing if not loyal. Yeah.
Because you hear, like, especially in the industry, everybody's moving around. People have had 15 different jobs in 1 year.
Yeah.
That doesn't. A lot of people. I've had some people, they don't like staying in one place. Why do you like staying in one place versus just going out there and checking out what's out there?
Oh man, it's the people. I get comfortable. I'm a small pond guy. I'm very social, but I like a reasonably sized circle, and the industry's full of all sorts of people, and they're not all great bosses. So, when you find a place where you feel respected and you get to be creative and you get to, I don't know, feel like a part of the process and not just a cog in the process, I feel like that's something worth holding on to. Change can be fun, but if you're happy somewhere, why risk it?
How long have you been in the industry?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How long have you been in the industry?
Okay, so
I like when I hear okay. It's like, oh, we about to go on a journey. Let's go.
Yeah. So, I was a sophomore in high school when I really started cooking and doing more than washing dishes. What's that?
What year is this, if you're not scared? What year is this?
Years?
What year is it that you're a sophomore, if you're not scared to answer?
Oh, yeah, that's okay. That would have been 2003.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. Class of 05.
Oh, man. Keep going.
Yeah. And then, a big part of my shortcomings at Kent State was that I was having more fun at the restaurant, and I was there full time. I didn't want to go through the whole English 101 thing when I could be cooking and waiting tables and talking to girls and stuff. So I went full time right out of high school, and that was almost 20 years ago.
Man, are you concerned? Because I do like bartending. I love bartending. It's fun and it's so cool out there and do new things every single day. Are you ever concerned that I'm older. I'm over 3, as we get older, like just being.
I wasn't gonna ask.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I am 37 years old. Oh, 3. All
right.
Thank you. Does it ever cross your mind about what you'll do as you continue? Would you be able to still withstand being in that bar? Now, I know some 50-year-olds. I know a guy 50-year-old right now in the bar killing it. But what about you? Like, what is your goal? You still want to stay in that restaurant industry that long?
Yeah. I don't really see an end in sight. I should be full transparency. I'm on sabbatical right now.
Okay.
So I've been going full time. I was, selling hand sanitizer during the pandemic, and then we moved up here.
Falling.
Yeah, I didn't stop for a very long time, and so I was able to get some some daytime work. I do some copywriting and some social media work for a couple different organizations. and I'm on like a 6-month sabbatical right now because I wanted to see, you know, I felt like I was getting a little burnt out, and I wanted to see if I would miss it, and I miss it. Like, I've got some traveling coming up. I'm going to Ohio for a few weeks, and part of me is like, I already want to start, like, you know, emailing bars and going to bars and being like, hey, I can't work until like 2 months from now, but are you guys looking for bartenders? Because like, I just miss it so much. I wanna I wanna get to a place. I don't know how I'm ever gonna do this, but I want to get to a place financially where maybe I can open a little spot and do it for myself. But even then, I don't I don't see an end in sight. I love bartending. Where else am I gonna get paid to talk as much as I love to talk?
I know, right? I used to work in corporate, and I was like, I think I should get paid for my personality. This is bullshit. And I quit. I quit.
Yes.
I didn't appreciate the personality there. You have to be more just, yes, the stocks are very high today. But market to me, you know?
Yeah.
So how do you keep yourself sharp and abreast of new techniques, or are you just, you're comfortable being in a certain lane?
Um, I can get, obviously, if I work at places for 7 years at a time, I can get way too comfortable. So, um, I really like the young employees. You know, I've had some coworkers that have shown me some crazy stuff. They're like, "Yo, I follow this guy on TikTok," and you know, they're introducing me to bartenders I've never heard of. Um, and it's just I don't know, it's about talking to people. For me, if I ever get too lazy, the easiest fix is someone who's passionate about something. You know what I mean? Whether it's a coworker or a customer or a bartender at another bar who's just like way the hell into rum right now, or like they've decided that they're going to make 16 different milk punches or something. Like, I can get excited about all sorts of things if other people are excited about it. So I think keeping it fresh is about talking to people and always making new connections, which is why I agreed to talk to you tonight, because you know, you hear stuff and you get to talk to new people and meet new people.
I agree. I love meeting people. I always tell about. So I have a mobile bartending people, and I do have contractors who I send out to, and we travel all through Ohio.
That's awesome, huh?
I always tell them, like, meet new people, talk to people. You never know what you might learn. Like, every time I talk to people, they say something. I'm like, oh, let's talk about that because I don't know it. People have like just a real issue with talking to people. They just
Yeah.
feel really weirded out by it. And I guess, would you say you're an introvert or extrovert? You're extrovert.
Oh yeah. Big time extrovert. With, I don't know, all this isolation these past couple of years though, I've come to understand introverts more. You know, I get nervous now in 2022. I get nervous about interactions that I used to never get nervous about, you know?
Really? Like what?
Yeah. Like you know, little things like, you know, I got to take a few deep breaths before I make a phone call to a potential client or something, you know, things that I would just kind of strut into a few years ago. I don't know, I'm a little more, I got to talk myself into it a little bit more.
I think a lot of us really got like comfortable with the COVID is still out here, still present. But we're going out more, we're being more social. And I know for myself, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't go anywhere, I didn't do anything, I didn't wash my face, I didn't brush my teeth, comb my hair because I'm at home all
Mm-hmm.
the time. Who wants to
Mm-hmm.
dogs, So now I'm going out more, and it feels like a completely new experience, like reliving my 20s all over again. Because
Yeah.
like they have like easy joints here. The bartenders where you go down and it's a hidden area that people don't know about. And
Yeah.
there's a place
Okay.
Very clean, very clean. So, but let's go back. So you talked about milk punch. Do you make milk punch?
I have, yeah. So I actually,
Can you tell the group what is the milk punch?
okay. So, and there's a million Instagram videos and TikTok videos that'll probably be way more charming than this explanation. But basically, it started as a way to preserve spirits or preserve a cocktail, like way back in the 1700s. So you take a spirit, you add some sugar, you add some citrus, and then you add some milk or some cream, and you let that curdle all together, and then you strain the curdles out. And so what you get is like clarified, kind of viscous cocktail, essentially. The curdles can absorb a lot of like astringent flavors, like a lot of the extreme flavors of the spirit, and also like some of the citric acids, and it kind of mellows everything out together. So it probably started, you know, in the 1700s, people weren't making the best booze. So it probably started as a way to like smooth out the taste, and not only as a preservative, but to just like make stuff taste better. But now that we're in this like fourth wave of the cocktail craze or whatever it is, where like everything's like ironic and over the top and like a riff of a riff, there's some crazy milk punches out there.
What's a crazy one that you've done or you've heard of?
So I've been scheming on this for a while and I haven't done it yet, but I made a cake for my wife's birthday and it called for cereal milk. It was a fruity pebble cake. And so the milk that went into the cake batter, you had to soak it in Fruity Pebbles first. And I was like, oh, milk punch, duh. So I haven't done it yet, but I actually have. I thought you might ask me about this.
Yeah.
So this is a blueberry infused flor de cana right now. And I wish you could smell it and taste it because it's like so blueberry. Like it's just, it does not, like, you can just stick your nose right in there. It is not strong. Oh, hey, that's my wife, Cassie. Hi, Cassie.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she knows about me.
She's watching in the bedroom right now.
Hi,
Hi,
wife.
Cassie.
So the in your hand, that blueberry, did you soak the blueberries in there? How did you make that?
I just threw a bunch of blueberries in here. I don't, so if I'm doing something for a business, I'm very scientific. I tend to weigh all my ingredients and I try to be very precise. But if I'm just having fun at home, like I had a half a bottle of rum and I just dropped blueberries in the top till it was like almost full. And I gave it like a good week and then strained the blueberries back out. I just threw them out. I tasted one and it tasted like straight rum, and it was like early in the day and I was cleaning the kitchen and I was like, I gotta get these, I don't want to smell these blueberries. I gotta get them out of here.
Hour, you know, the rum takes on the blueberries takes on the rum.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't have it both. You can't have blueberries and rum all in the same bite. But so yeah, I'm gonna make some fruity pebble milk, and then I'm gonna make a milk punch with this blueberry rum and some citrus peels and stuff. Because I don't know, I imagine some people are, it's the other way around, but I grew up on a lot of junk food, and when I smell a fresh citrus zest, I still think of like Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops. You know, like,
So citrus makes you think of fruit pebbles.
yeah, like the actual oils, like not the juice, but you know, still to this day, and I've been doing it for, you know, many years now. But when I peel a little bit of citrus and you get that kind of like sweet aromatic smell from the lemon peel, it still kind of reminds me of Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops a little bit.
And you know what? I kind of, as you say that, I think about, like, it's like that initial hint aroma that I get when you open up a bag and it hits you, that it kind of, I can see where you're going with the oil in the,
Yeah,
in the citrus. I wasn't much of a Fruity Pebbles person, and Fruit Loops, I like quit that because we ate that all the time. So that was like our main thing.
yeah.
Traumatized for breakfast. How did you learn your flavor profiles or what to put together? How did you learn so scientific when it comes to the cocktail?
um, well, it all started with my first mentor, Damien. He's the one. He was the lead bartender at the cider house in Athens when they opened, and I had known him just because it's a small town. We had had some good conversations about whiskey and this and that, and he asked me if I wanted to come bartend at this place, and he had worked all over Ohio. He's a traveling nurse now. He got a little burnout on bartending,
Yeah.
as a lot of us do. But yeah, he just for a while I thought like his rules were like law, and I was kind of stubborn and pretentious about it. But he taught me the basics. He taught me. He had a I still use his old fashioned recipe. It's very simple. It's just bourbon, a little bit of Demerara syrup, Angostura bitters, and orange bitters. He read a lot of like Gaz Regan and stuff, a lot of the like 90s guys that kind of helped usher in this whole new cocktail thing we're living in. Um, so yeah, it's just through work basically. I've always been very lucky, whether as a cook or a bartender, to get paid to learn, just by being willing to work. Whether it's bar backing or doing being a prep cook or whatever. Like you can learn so much and get paid to do it if you're willing to be the grunt guy at first.
Yes. I think. Well, you have, like, you're not going to want to learn it if you're just going to do it just, just to make money, like most people. So for you, you're going into it to make money, but to me, it really sounds like you have a legit love. And when you have a love of what you do, you are
Yeah,
willing to learn and learn, like most stuff that makes, other people say, nah, that's boring. Little
yeah,
plus, I think that's like an add.
yeah,
I agree. And it is literally like you're getting paid to learn if you like what you're doing or if you're going to take this knowledge and put it elsewhere.
yeah,
So that's a
yeah.
good.
People have asked me like, where do I have to go to like mixology school or something? And I'm like, yeah, you do. It's called being a bar back. You know what I mean? Like, and it sounds shitty. And, at this point, I'm 35. Like, I wouldn't want to start at the bottom again. But, you learn so much that way. And that's, especially in small towns and in Ohio and stuff. I've always been lucky enough to find people who are willing to teach me if I'm willing to work.
I try to ask a lot of questions. Like if
Yeah.
something that I'm not used to, or I just really don't understand it, or I'm like, I don't need it right now, but I need that information. I'm like, keep asking questions. That's the only way.
Yep. That was,
Okay.
oh, sorry. That was kind of a hard lesson for me to learn. I always wanted to pretend like I knew what everyone was talking about. And that's like a roadblock to learning anything. Like if you play it cool and act like you know what people are saying, then you're not going to learn anything and you're going to end up looking like an idiot, which I have done a lot. So, yeah, that's the number one advice I give to new bartenders is like ask a million questions. Ask stupid questions. If a customer orders a drink and you've never heard of it, be honest. Be like, hey, I'm still learning and I don't know that drink. Well, first go try to Google it. And then if you can't find a recipe, if you can't hide behind the bar and Google it, then go be honest with the customer. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Which, side note, it drives me crazy that people don't just do things, those cocktails. Like, people will tell me, I don't know how to make it. And I'm like, you have a cell phone? Google it.
Yeah. It is the easiest age to be a cocktail bartender because you don't need some like sacred notebook that's been handed down for generations. You just need a smartphone.
That's all you need. So I like where you say you'll tell. Do you remember your turning point where you realized, oh, let me stop being so arrogant about my thought process and let me actually sit back and just learn and absorb? Or you might not.
I can't pinpoint it to a specific moment, but I'd say it was about after like 2 years, Like I spent a year learning, and then I spent a year thinking I knew everything. And then by like year 3, I was like, wow, this world of spirits and wine and cider and alcohol is so large that like there's no way I know what's right. You know what I mean? And I don't know, I think learning a skill is like that no matter what the skill is. Like whether you're learning a language or an instrument or whatever, you get to these moments where you feel like you know what you're doing, and then you have these like kind of awakenings where you're like, oh, there's other genres, there's other ways of doing things, there's other, I don't know, it's just there's always like plateaus and hills. But yeah, I'd say about 2 years in, I realized it was way more fun to learn from everybody than to try to preach to everybody, even though I'd only been doing it for 2 years,
What was your worst? Do you remember your worst time in a bar or your worst position at a bar?
Oh man, worst time in the bar. There's been a few.
There you go. Pick your favorite.
Oh Lord. I mean, there's always the things you absolutely can't control, like when the water, the stinky water starts seeping up through the floor.
Oh.
That was a rough night. And you got people, it's late enough that people are having fun and they're trying to tell you, oh, we don't mind, we'll hang out. And you're like, no, you gotta get out of here. Like, we're getting out of here. Like, no one wants to be here. Please leave. Yeah. There were, yeah. They can't all be good nights. Human beings are not always going to get along. And my worst nights behind the bar were the nights that I let it get to me. You know what I mean? Because, if a customer is being rude or snarky or whatever, odds are they're not going to remember it 2 days from now. So there's no reason to let that shit keep you up all night, because they're sleeping soundly and you should too. And, there's always, when you're working till 2 a.m. and doing what we do, there's always going to be times where you kind of get sucked into arguing with people a little bit.
You're human. It happens.
Yeah. And those are my least favorite nights behind the bar. It's been a long time, thankfully. I think I'm getting a lot more patient, but when I let something get to me, that's what sticks with me as a bad night. I can have a night where everything goes wrong, and if it doesn't get to me, it was still a good night. But if something goes wrong and I let it really like get to me and turn me into a Grinch, then that's a bad night behind the bar. What?
I get that money.
You can't be in the weeds if you don't truly give a fuck.
That is so true. So, so come back to liquor before I get too far off. Let's go a long tangent. Let's go back to liquor. What's your drink of choice?
My drink of choice, honestly, is a whiskey and a beer. It's cliche. If a guy that looked like me walked into a bar, I'd be like, I bet he wants a decent bourbon and a shitty beer. And in my case, I would be right. This is PBR, and this is PBR in my fancy German beer mug right now. Einger Brewery makes great beer, but it's hard to get over here, so I just fill it with PBR.
Where is iron? Is iron? Iron gun? Iron? I say more.
It's Einger. I tell people it's like saying anger with a lot of sass, like Einger.
Oh.
But they're a brewery in Munich, Germany, so they make like a lot of classic German beers. You can find them in the States. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say German beer is your thing.
Yeah, I like German beers. I like beers you can drink by the liter. You know what I mean? They make a lot of like real mellow 4 to 5% over in Germany and Austria, and I can appreciate that. I like a beer I can drink all night, you know?
Besides Einger.
Besides Einger.
I'm gonna say it like that all the time. Einger. Besides like other brands that you personally like.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Other than Einger.
What are some other brands that you personally like
Of beer? Well, I'm in Vermont. I'm in the land of like delicious small craft breweries. Oh yeah, Vermont. The Vermont beer scene is second to none.
Like, is it happening? You have a lot of new places. Why is that the beer spot?
I think it's just something about these green mountains. You ski. I don't do. By the way, I don't do any of these things I'm about to list. But
Okay.
you ski. You tap trees. You make maple syrup. You tap trees and you boil it in the spring, and you brew beer. Vermont loves their IPAs. They make like a real hazy New England style IPA up here, and that's like the style of choice. There's a brewery called Alchemist that's like, that's where all the beer nerds go. Like people come out of state, we'll get like young dads at the restaurant and they're like, yeah, give me the Alchemist. Like they're so excited that they're in Vermont and they can drink the heady topper from Alchemist Brewery. So big shout out to them because they're like a staple. And I absolutely love a brewery up here called Zero Gravity. Let's see, in Ohio I drink a lot of Mad Tree. I'm all about that lift in the summertime. And yeah, I'm a big cider guy too, which is great. Usually once the weather turns warm, I drink more cider than beer.
What's the secret to a good beer?
The secret to a good beer. You're going to have to ask someone way smarter than me.
You sound like you're really good at beer. Knowledgeable beer guy.
Oh, no, I'm just really good at bullshitting. If you ask me a question, I'll pretend like I have the answer regardless. But no, I don't know. The secret to a good beer is that you like it.
There, that's easy peasy. So, also like whiskey.
Mm-hmm. What kind of whiskeys? All right, so I'm mostly a bourbon guy. I got my. I'm kind of embarrassed at how like accessible everything is right now, but We were doing a little for a cocktail competition. My wife was helping me do a little photo shoot over here earlier today. So I got my old granddad like within reach. Never leave home without it.
Oh,
Old
wow.
granddad, bottled and bond. It's the best $20 you'll ever spend at the liquor store.
Oh, granddad, he was right. I know he can. The notes, granddad. He
I'm sorry, Champagne. I'm having a hard time hearing you. There's a little bit of
It's
fuzz.
me. Probably me. I don't know what it is. I hear.
It's
You know what? Hold on. How's that? Is that better?
oh yeah, that's way better.
So, crazy thing, right? Quick story. I have a YouTube channel, and I like to I'm usually experimenting with cocktails every night, just doing weird
Yeah.
things. So right now I'm working on a oh fuck, a shrub. I'm working on a shrub right now. All right.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing all kinds of things. I had juiced all this lemon juice because I was making a homemade sweet and sour. Spilled the lemon juice onto my laptop, so now it sounds really, really loud on that part. It just sounds
Oh.
louder, but it kind of works. But if anyone knows how to save your Mac from lemon juice, because
Oh man.
yeah,
So
after that,
that's the fan running real loud?
yes.
Oh man, that's scary. I've been there.
I know. Now I gotta go sell my body for another MacBook. I can't go back
Oh
to.
jeez. I do not like laptop prices. I tell you what.
They are so expensive.
Yeah.
They used to be so cheap, and then they
It's
were back up.
and like the refurbished, like, I'm kind of a snob. I like a good MacBook, but like
Yeah.
the refurbished ones aren't really that great of a deal. Like if you get like a certified refurbished one, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I guess I'll just spend like a few hundred more for the new one. You know what I mean? Like if the refurbished ones were like half the cost of a new one, it would be no brainer for me.
Right.
But
You got like the new one, $2,300, and then you have the refurbished $22.99.
yeah, right. It's wild. Like, come on.
So that's what you're hearing. I'm sorry. So
Oh no, that's okay. It's way better now. But you got to tell me more about this shrub. I want to hear because I've made some shrubs like at bars and restaurants, but I've never done like a homemade shrub. So I want to hear what you're doing.
shrub either. So I have you read Death and Co? I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've been thinking about this shrub and I want to make it. So I'm doing a blueberry one. So today is the day where I have to add in the fruit. So I did the way they told me to do, which was you have room temperature, leave it for a week, and
Nice.
put it in with the cider, with the vinegar, and then you're gonna add some sugar in, and then I'll see what it tells me next. So I followed it. Some people actually like cook the vodka in with the fruit when they're doing a shrub. How do you do a shrub?
So the last shrub I made was wild, and people were obsessed with it.
Oh,
Um, it was this winter drink at a place in Ludlow, Vermont called Homestyle Hotel, which is amazing. It's one of my favorite restaurants in the world. I left there for my sabbatical and almost instantly regretted it because I missed that crew so much. But Justin, one of the owners and the original lead bartender, he or possibly one of the other original bartenders came up with this drink called a Deadbeat. And it was a shrub with beets, like pureed beets that you strain. So we would take these roasted beets, puree them with the vinegar and the sugar and a little bit of water, and then strain it all. And it was this like dark, dense, like gnarly looking purple juice. And then we would add a habanero tincture to it and make it like spicy as all hell. And then we basically made like a margarita with that, and that was called the Deadbeat. So it's this purple vegetal spicy margarita that was like the color of a Prince album, and people just could not get enough of it. It was like always one of our top sellers.
So in the shrub, you had the beets, and what was the other thing?
Beets, sugar. There were two kinds of vinegar. I think it was red wine and apple.
So you don't have
And
apple cider when you're doing a shrub?
the apple cider vinegar, but no actual like straight cider was in that recipe.
Oh no, I'm asking if you're doing a shrub, you don't just have to use apple cider vinegar. You can use any type of vinegar to do a shrub.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know the rules, but I usually assume there aren't any. You know what I mean? So
It's wild out here. It's wild.
yeah. So like if you're doing something and you want to like, throw $10 of balsamic vinegar in there, I say go for it. Like I would drink a balsamic shrub for sure. I got some Italian blood in me, so I can't get enough of those dark vinegars.
So after you do that together, and after you cook it all together, you let it stand.
Yeah, so the beets got simmered on their own, and then you add the vinegars and the sugar. And man, if someone from Homestyle's watching me and I'm getting this wrong, please chime in, because we did purely seasonal menus there, and we made so many great drinks in the 4 seasons that I was there. Like it's kind of a blur. So I hope I'm getting that all right. I know that there was sugar, 2 kinds of vinegar, and beets up in that shrub for sure.
Okay, so yeah, that's what. So I only have one type of vinegar. Tonight I'm going to add the sugar in when we get off of here, and then probably pick up my book and see what tells me what to do. So every night I've just been trying to explore. I've made a milk punch. So in essence, I do have a quick question about milk punches. If you do a milk punch, is that in essence a cocktail that's already made up and you're just clarifying it at that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, usually. So you can also just like milk wash a spirit, which I did on my birthday back in March. I tried to make the bougiest Shamrock Shake cocktail that I could think of. And I milk washed some Tullamore Dew because it just like smooths the whiskey out a little bit and makes it like a little more viscous. And then the milk leaves whey in the whiskey. So the idea was that when you shook it, the whey would make things frothier. So it didn't work out as great as I wanted it to, but it was a lot of fun.
You try. How do you milk wash something? I hear like milk wash and fat wash, but I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, do you just dump it in and you wash it up? But I'm sure that's not what that means.
No, it's pretty much what it means.
Is it?
And I do see that Chef Mayo joined us from Homestyle Hotel in Ludlow, Vermont. So
Hi, Chef
shout out to Mayo, one of my favorite cooks in the whole world. Miss you, dude. And if you remember how we made that shrub for the Deadbeat, please chime in. But yeah, so washing is just what a fancy word for like fat infusing. I don't know why. I don't know who made up the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why there are rules to begin with.
Right.
But whenever you infuse something with fat, you call it washing instead of infusing. I don't know. It seems like gatekeeper language to me a little bit. But
that's my boy.
Oh, hi, Dad.
That's beautiful. So how?
Yeah, I got.
Walk me through the process of if you've never fat washed something. How would you fat wash something?
All right, so say you're just gonna do a spirit, and it would be pretty much the same if you were doing a milk punch, which would be like the whole cocktail.
Yes.
You just have some sugars and some juices in there as well. But you take the spirit and you pour the milk into it, and you want to be gentle through the whole process because you don't want things, and I'm no scientist, but there's a lot of chemistry going on, and you don't want if you shake and stir things too much, then the alcohol and the fat are going to get too combined, and you're not going to get like a clear strain at the end of the process. So basically, you add the milk to the spirit, you kind of swirl it around a little bit, and then you do need to add some sort of citrus or vinegar or some sort of acid to encourage the milk to curdle. But it doesn't take much. It could be like a bar spoon of lemon juice. And then, oh yeah, lover of beautiful things. We're talking about washing alcohols with milk right now.
Yes.
It's not super relevant, but neither am I.
It's relevant.
So yeah, and then when you add the citrus, you'll see the milk start to curdle, and that's when you kind of want to just stop and walk away for a couple hours.
Oh.
And over time, the curdles will become more solid, and everything will become more separated. And then you just pour it through like a cheesecloth or a coffee filter gently, because again, you don't want the curdles to bust up, or the final product will be really cloudy.
So it's like creating a milk punch, except
Yeah.
you're just only doing the spirit and the milk when you're milk washing something.
Yeah. And the end result is just like a slightly smoother, more viscous spirit.
Oh my gosh, I kind of want to do that tonight. It's been a long day for me. I don't think I will, but I do that.
It's fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so this is nerdy, but like watching the milk curdle and watching everything separate is like, I don't know. I'm that guy. I make bread too, and I'll like be like, okay, I just need to leave this dough alone for 2 hours. And my idea of leaving it alone is like looking at it every 4 minutes and being like, ooh, look, I see another bubble or I see another curdle. Like, I don't know. It's fun. It's science. I actually did a reel about it. If anyone's that interested, they can go look at my reels. And there's one where I make milk wash Tullamore Dew.
Tell us about your brand. I'm not going to let you go and you don't tell us about your brand. What are you doing? Tell us about yourself.
Little House of Cocktails is an education and consulting service. So hopefully, eventually, I'll be a full-on catering service with a liquor license.
Woo!
But right now, on my budget, what I'm doing instead is teaching cocktail classes for people in Vermont and Ohio. I'm going to be in Ohio from May 28th till June 18th at least. So I'm booking gigs all over Ohio while I'm there, because I'm going to be just driving up and down 71 and 77 the whole time I'm in the state, trying to visit as many people as possible. But yeah, so I do some consulting for bars, help people come up with cocktail menus and stuff. It's a lot of work, if you're already worrying about everything that goes into managing a bar, and you want a nice little cocktail program as well. A lot of people just don't have the time to put the research and effort into it, and so that's what I'm here for. I'm affordable. There's a lot of people that are doing it in big cities for a lot of money, and I try to keep my pricing, where the people of Ohio and Vermont can afford it, and yeah, just try to help people make great drinks and have fun while doing it.
Do you have a TikTok channel or a YouTube?
Do you think I should? I don't know.
You know your stuff. You should do a TikTok, and people,
Yeah,
they like that.
I hear it's easier to edit videos on TikTok than it is on Instagram.
Oh, absolutely. But you can also download something like InShot or iMovie or some type of program. You could edit it there. So I usually edit my InShot, and then I move it over to Not Twitter, TikTok, and use like the
TikTok.
out there. Yeah. But people like that. Cocktails are big right now. Summertime is coming up. So, a lot
Yeah.
of the have.
I almost said I like making videos, but the truth is I don't.
Oh.
I like talking and performing and cracking jokes and being silly as fuck, but all the like little details, and by the time you're done editing the video, you've heard yourself say these words like 100 times, and
Yeah.
I've never liked the sound of my voice, so like editing them is just not my thing.
I don't like it either. I don't like to watch my videos. Once I load my videos, they're up and gone. I don't know. I don't like the. But you guys should. You guys should like the sound of our voices, so you can keep watching us.
Absolutely. Please validate me and go like my reels and listen to the sound of my voice.
You didn't even tell us what your little house of cactus. I guess. Do you have a TikTok? Do you have a TikTok?
I don't have a TikTok.
Okay.
I do have a website, littlehouseofcocktails.com.
Ooh, I'm gonna
there's some pretty photos on there. I've been doing more writing recently, so there's going to be some essays up there soon. And just, some descriptions of what I do and stuff. So. And I see that Abigail Stone Designs is on here.
Yes.
And she came up with my amazing logo and brand package. She gave me this beautiful pattern that I'm obsessed with and I try to use as often as possible. She's in Ludlow, Vermont. So if anyone in Vermont is listening right now and thinking about a graphic designer, I cannot recommend her enough. And hi, Abby. Cheers. Miss you guys.
Hi, Abby. I'm looking at the website right now. Nice. Ooh, look at the pomegranate. Oh. In-home cocktail classes, spirits education, and bar consultation.
Yup.
Nice. This looks really, really good. So I always ask this of my people before I let you go. You're stuck on an island. You only can have 3 things with you. Okay? One thing has to be a book. One thing has to be your favorite spirit that you'll drink for the rest of your life because, you're stuck on an island. And the third one can be anything that you want.
Okay.
Okay.
The first one has to be a book, you said, right?
Be a bar tool. I mean,
a bar tool.
Yeah, a bar tool, though.
Oh, man. I think if I'm stuck on an island, I think it's got to be a bottle opener, right? Because how bad would it suck if like a ship sank and some nice wine washed up ashore, and you hadn't had a drink and since your plane crashed, and you don't have your church key in your pocket? That would be awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with my wine key and my bottle opener.
Okay. So what do you drink for the rest of your life?
Old Granddad, bottled and bond.
Old Granddad, woof woof.
It's good. It's good in warm weather. It's good in cold weather. You can bury it in the sand and try and chill it if you want.
Now I have to go try this, all because of you. I have to go try this out.
You're gonna be like, fuck this guy. He's got terrible taste.
I knew he was lying to me.
No, it's good stuff. If you like, I like bourbon, and I don't like what's happening to the top shelf bourbons. What a commodity they're becoming. Mm-hmm. And the good folks at Old Granddad are just, they're making quality bourbon and they're sticking it on the middle shelf where it belongs, and I can respect that.
Good. Thank you, Old Granddad. But
can I change my answer?
Okay, change your answer. I love your setup. I'm telling you, man. I love the setup.
There's something in here. Wait for it. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. All right.
Anything, and I mean anything, from West End Distillery in Athens, Ohio. This
Oh.
is their Fifth Element Chardonnay Grappa. It was the first bottle of theirs I could find. But my guy Kelly and his crew and his partner Deanna, Deanna is like a huge influence on my life. She was my boss at the bar. She's taught me so much about business. Like, I have so much respect for Deanna and Kelly. They do amazing things. And if anyone out there, if you're ever in Athens, Ohio, you got to go to the West End Distillery, and literally anything they make that catches your eye, drink it.
Sounds like solid advice from
Yes.
the House of Cocktails.
Yeah. Finest Appalachian spirits. So the third thing, I can derail. I'll go on a tangent. I can turn the easiest question into a 15-minute conversation.
I like it. You rounded up the hour, so that's solid. Thank you.
So, and you said the third thing on the island can be anything?
Anything you want. Yep.
Can I give the obvious answer? It's got to be my wife, Cassidy.
Oh yeah. You know what? That's the difference between single people and married people, because you're like, the obvious answer is your wife. Because yes, that is obvious to me. Yeah, that makes sense.
But if it couldn't be a person,
you could bring your wife. I'm not a jerk. Just bring her. She seems.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I need someone to drink with. I need someone to drink all that old granddad with.
Yeah, I think you're the only one who brought someone along. Everybody else is just going to die along with the cocktail tool and the spirit. So, yeah, thank you for thinking that. Now everybody else is going, oh, I'm going to say my wife next time. You set the mold, Nick.
I hope I didn't get anyone in trouble.
You probably did. Nick, thank you so much for joining me today. I will upload that I will upload it to YouTube. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, totally.
Excellent. Thank you so much. You guys, please check out Nick on Little House of Cocktails. He has a website, littlehouseofcocktails.com. I'm looking at the Grappa Sour. It looks delish.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Yeah, you said Grappa, you pulled it up. That's how awesome. I definitely want to try that. Never heard of it. So this is why I like talking to people, because I learn new things. If you guys see, definitely give him a follow. Definitely give me a follow, support. Check out the YouTube channel, which will have the replay later on this week as soon as I get it. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. Be safe, be sound, be loved, and bye.
Thank you, Champagne. It was so nice to meet you.
You too, Nick. You're awesome. Thank you, man.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.